And now, your reigning, defending, greatest wrestling podcast of all time. This is Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Featuring A-Dub.
On site, and it's on site.
B.A.
How can the heel heal off on the heel when the heel is healing?
And E-Ray.
No wrestling moves, just hands. Just hands.
Powered by the Embrace the Turn Up Network in partnership with the Inaudible Ruckus Podcast.
Welcome to the madness here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of the upper of ages, aliens, dogs, chickens, cats, ducks. Remember that from the Manny Fresh? Remember that?
Fresh. Yeah.
This is not Young Jeezy. This is not Lil Wayne. This is Let Me Book the Territory. The greatest professional wrestling podcast of all time. The pod where everybody gets their ideas from. If you don't believe me, we got about 170 episodes of proof. They're all timestamped. Go listen to them and then watch what happens in the weeks following on all your favorite graps. And you'd be like, man, these guys need a check. We sure do. We sure motherfucking do. Ladies and gentlemen, I am A-Dub, the pod god, the pod tribal chief, if you will. Today, I am dub done because I am an overtime hater. I am clocking it overtime just to hate on niggas. Just to hate on niggas, because I appreciate that type of Black Air Force energy. Not joining us today is the homie E-Ray. Of course, he was just walking around in the NXT parking lot, and he saw Jada Parker out there, was asking her what she doing, and that bat got used, and it was a fatal attraction indeed. Oh, and my man's is down and out for at least a week. He'll be all right though. The wise man, of course, in the background, doing all his wise man things, producing, making us sound great, because I know my voice is just average. But joining me, I think this is the first time that we've done this pod together in a long time.
In a minute.
The homie, B.A. DiBiase, the man with all the monies. He's got like 5 mortgages and 10 homes. He's got 12 illegitimate wrestling children. He is just snatching souls like Shang Tsung and adding them to his infinity gauntlet. B.A. is in the building. What's up, B.A.?
What's going on, man? Feels good to be back. After last week having to handle some business, but it's B.A. DiBiase back in the building, aka Black IRS, aka the B for the month. East B.A. Bigelow in the building.
You weren't here last week. I forgot about that.
I got called out by a certain professional sports team in town that go running an event for the job. So yeah.
There it is.
I won't give them any pub because they don't deserve any right now. And if you can put 2 and 2 together, you know who I'm talking about. I won't say their names.
Hey man, we got to do a sports pod sometime real soon here. We can talk about both our franchises because very interesting places. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
And before we talk about our franchise, we got to talk about how right both me and you were about the state of sport business and how it's changing.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, if y'all haven't gone and listened to Dub's point of the last 170 episodes on this show, we be predicting stuff in the other realms of sports and sports entertainment business news over on Embrace the Turn Up. So go check them old episodes out. I'm sure we'll have a follow-up episode because everything that we've predicted has come to roost basically. So it's nice to finally understand why you always like to tell people that you're right. I get it now. It feels
you get
good.
it?
I get it. It does feel good.
Because when I'm right, I'm really right about shit. Like, A lot of people know me like they said, like, Dub, you kind of quiet. I'm like, no, when I know some shit, you can't get me to shut up about it. But yeah, like it's crazy. It's just fucking crazy.
Right.
And I want to let everybody know we're doing this. I don't have a subscription to the Sports Business Journal. I just be reading the free articles that be out there and just watching what's going along and knowing how greedy people are and can figure some shit out. And then I got the homie BA to educate me on other things financially. So I'm like, oh, boom, 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 boom. Yep. And it's just a beautiful way. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about some graps. Some graps. BA, did you watch All Out?
I want to say yes, but I know I damn sure ain't watch a lick of that pay-per-view, unfortunately.
No, I had a feeling you didn't. I had a feeling like neither one of you guys did, as me and Wiseman were the only ones talking about it. Yeah. I was very excited that it happened on a Saturday night because, tried and true form, it was over at like 12:30 at night. And I was
of course. I would have been asleep anyway.
It's Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean... Listen, if it wasn't for so much gratuitous violence, I might have fell asleep in the main event.
That's what I heard. And it was quite a violent main event and just a violent show in general. Is what I heard. Two borderline attempted murders, no big deal. Typical AEW show, if you ask me. Attempted murders. People trying to hurt themselves without even knowing they're trying to hurt themselves, I'm sure.
Have you heard anything about like what happened with the attempted murders?
Just the Swerve and Hangman match. That's the only thing I heard about. I didn't hear about the other rumor murder attempt.
So, the Swerve thing was so crazy because out of nowhere, Hangman just pulls out a fucking syringe and then jams it into Swerve's cheek. That's crazy. Then that Swerve's just sitting there like, oh. I mean, they could have just put up the whole Mortal Kombat finish him. And then Hangman hits him with, remember those Rock Mick Foley chair shots from that, what was that, 99?
Heavily unprotected chair shots. From Rock to Mankind, yes.
Imagine that times 100 with just one chair shot.
Damn.
And then the ref just stopped it. And
that's what got him to stop? The syringe wasn't the stopping point? No, the syringe
wasn't enough.
Wow. No. What a fucking show.
Wow. After that, I was like, I feel uncomfortable.
I would have felt uncomfortable.
And this is 30 minutes after Jon Moxley tried to kill Bryan Danielson.
I heard that, they turned on him. They turned on BD. Something crazy.
They did.
So that what Mox was talking about?
First Kill Switch comes out there. I don't know. I still don't know what he's talking about. First Kill Switch comes out there, headbutts Bryan Danielson, and then Christian comes out to cash in his contract. And you're like, is this how we put a belt on Christian? I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah. But then, the whole BCC comes out with Pac, and I was like, when did Pac join the club? I was like, whatever. I don't want to. I don't know anything. And then they kind of chase, the patriarchy off, get back in the ring. Everybody, holds up Bryan's hand. And then as Bryan's kind of like walking away a little bit, Moxley just pulls out a plastic bag and just puts it over his face and tries to asphyxiate the guy. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy. And then everybody's just kind of standing there watching. Wheeler Yuta's trying to stop it, but Pac's just holding him. And because Pac is just so much stronger than Wheeler Yuta, Wheeler can't do anything but say, no! He's crying and shit.
So they tried to literally, like, that when they tell your kids do not leave plastic bags out, that's what they were doing, showing people how to choke out people with the plastic bag. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, and like, they had him in that plastic. Mox was just choking him like with that plastic bag over his head for a good 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
Like, had he not maybe like, maneuvered his fingers just enough for air to actually get in there, that was long enough to kill him, man.
They love their violence in AEW, boy.
I watched John Wick enough to know that's long enough to kill him, man.
Man, and this is coming from a guy that grew up watching old school ECW.
We watched New Jack.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was like a sense of like it's violent, but these dudes are gonna show up next week. I don't feel that way when I watch AEW. I feel like literally something's gonna happen to where they're gonna have to go fade to black type shit and can't talk about it. Type of deal. Sure. So
show up next. I tell you what, if the ending spot of a show is me getting stabbed with a syringe and then taking an unprotected chair shot, what I'm not doing is showing up to work on Wednesday.
Hell nah. You know they there.
Oh yeah.
Both of them.
As we record right now, I'm sure they right there.
Yep. Oh yeah, but it sounds like I missed quite the pay-per-view. As far as
it was a good show. Ospreay continues to prove that he's probably one of the best wrestlers walking planet Earth in that ring. His match with Pac was it was a Dragon Ball Z fight. All Ospreay matches are just Dragon Ball Z fights at this point.
Yeah,
If you've seen Goku fight Cell, you've seen every single Ospreay match. And if you enjoyed that, you'll enjoy every single Ospreay match.
So wait a minute. So who's growing back limbs and shit like Cell was when Goku would blow him to shreds and somehow he would come back to life? So who's that? Ospreay. Is that Ospreay?
That's Ospreay.
Fair enough. I thought it might have been Ricochet.
Speaking of, man, Ospreay cuts like half a promo in the back. He's still very gassed as he's trying to do this interview, talking about there's someone back here who's kind of watching, not doing anything. And then Ricochet kind of comes up to him, and Ospreay sticks his hand out to shake it, and Ricochet knocks it away and tries to cut a tough guy promo. And I was like, yo, this nigga's still a dweeb, man.
Oh man, they still letting him talk on the microphone. That's crazy.
It was real short too, but it was just enough for you like.
Yeah, it's for you to remember why he got put into the back and never allowed to. Well, he got the wrestling stuff, but he was always getting squashed. So yeah,
I was like, just put a mask on him, have him start roaring again. Like, don't let him speak. He removes the mystique immediately when he talks.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's the truth, man. And that just proves.
Like, you know how they say like Lambeau Field has this mystique to it.
Yeah.
And for me, as a grown up as a Lions fan, like until I want to say, I think last year, we hadn't won in Lambeau Field in my entire fucking life, BA.
That's pretty depressing.
So it existed. So for us to I don't know, it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago. For us to win there, and it was that last game of the season, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, if the Packers win, they go to the playoffs. Well, if the Lions win, Packers don't go, but the Lions couldn't go because of something else. Right. And Dan Campbell's whole response was, either we win or they don't go to the playoffs, meaning we're not losing. I was like,
correct.
That's when he became my favorite Lions coach ever. I was like, he just said losing is not an option to these niggas, and they have nothing to play for. And I was like, oh, love it. But again, that mystique of Lambeau Field, and we had never won there in my entire 36 years of living, and then they did it. Mystique is gone. Mystique is gone. Now I believe we can walk in there and win any given Sunday. That's how Ricochet is. You watch him, you watch all of his matches, and you're like, this is one of the best guys working. He got to be world championship material, but then he speaks. And all the goodwill of everything that man can do in the ring, it just disappears.
Goes up in vapors, man. You I hate, here we go. I hate just because he's been talking so much, not so much crap, but he's been on Twitter, asking people why, they just want to watch his highlights and stuff. This is why, Ricochet, because nobody wants to see you cut a promo. Nobody wants to see that. And it's unfortunate, but it's the goddamn truth. And it doesn't make me want to watch AEW anymore. Unfortunately, because I'm not missing. I've seen this already.
If I was writing stuff for him, I would write a segment in a match where somebody does the thing with the chair on your throat, and then they kind of slam it, and then he can't talk, and I would pair it with Stoke right away.
Hopefully, Mercedes Monet's writer has extra duties, because she says she does help other wrestlers. I wonder if Ricochet would be one of them.
So. She's not helping Mercedes.
Mercedes thinks she is. She thinks she the best thing since like sliced bread. So I don't know.
Listen, BA, listen. If they hired me and gave me creative control and said you can bring on one of your friends to help you out and only you, I would bring you on too. And no matter how bad you did, we would still be getting these checks together.
Fair enough. You can't shit on your people.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
loyalty is loyalty. I understand Mercedes' loyalty.
Facts.
But I think we all got to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what did Gravy say in the Biggie movie? How we gonna change the world if we can't change ourselves?
Great pull. Yeah, quite the pull there. But yeah, I guess we got to change.
I will say, her match was pretty good.
Yeah,
her match was pretty good. She still fucked up hitting the moneymaker. They gotta do something with that move, man.
Who was she wrestling again? Shahida. Shida. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, good ass match. Hikaru Shida doesn't have bad matches, but they gotta tell her, like, you gotta stop doing the moneymaker. You gotta.
She not gonna stop. Nobody can tell her what to do. She making just as much money as the one of the top paid ladies in the E. So nobody can tell her nothing. In her
control,
eyes.
Brother.
Exactly. Hogan style out here.
Control.
Speaking of, I was gonna say, where did she pop up on that list that came out this week? Was she even on it?
I didn't look up any women on this list. I thought they started giving the women their own list.
Oh yeah, they do. Sorry,
yeah, like I think
sexist BA. Call myself out.
I think they do like a 150 or 250 for the women now. But
okay,
the PWI 500 is out yet again. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of the internet. They didn't argue about this list as much as they have in the past.
It wasn't as many arguable points at the top. There's some questionable things in the middle and in the heart of it, but the top 10, I don't see a lot of argument there. So
let me just break down the top 10 for everybody who hasn't heard it yet. Number 1 is Cody LaAnthony Raheem Rhodes III. Number 2, Swerve Strickland. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 4, Seth freaking Rollins. Number 5, the current New Japan World Champion Tetsuya Naito. Number 6, the Down Undertaker himself, Damian Priest. Number 7, MAGA Jacob Friedman, MJF. Number 8 is the man who refuses to go on vacation or see his family, one Jon Moxley. Number 9 is the man who looked Bret Hart in the face and said Goldberg's my favorite wrestler, Gunther. And number 10 is the artist formerly known as Sin Cara, aka Mystico.
Crazy.
I mean, the only people I really don't know much about, I know I've seen Naito wrestle in AEW, obviously. You're like, yo, that guy's really good, but I don't know what he's doing over in Japan. I'm not staying up till 4 a.m. every day to watch New Japan.
No, sir.
And I couldn't tell you where you could watch a AAA match, like, at all.
It's not on Rise TV or whatever the hell it's called. When they show.
Hey, man, stop hating on Axis.
Oh, that's what it's called. Yeah, Axis. That channel.
Yeah, it's like VH1 from the 90s, but then you just put wrestling on every Thursday for some reason. And they show New Japan too. They show a new episode of New Japan right after Impact.
See, but we can't get AAA. You might as well throw AAA in there.
Because the one thing I want to do after watching Impact, watch a bunch of wrestlers who I can't understand and I don't know what's going on.
Yo, yeah, you gotta love that combination. That's how I love my wrestling. Can't understand it and I don't know what's happening.
It took me 3 weeks to figure out what was really going on TNA. And I finally got it, but I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But then I started getting to it, and again, like I say, as I start watching TNA, it blows up. I'm not saying I'm responsible, but yeah, the writing's on the wall.
I can't even deny that because we used to shit on you for watching that, and we were like, we're not watching TNA, so respect where it's deserved. I can't knock that at all. Speaking of respect where it's earned, one of the gripes people had about this list was Logan Paul being better than a lot of wrestlers that they felt that shouldn't have been as high as he was, I guess.
I'm trying to find Logan Paul. Logan Paul is at 37.
He was like at 37. And I mean, I have a very limited viewpoint into this because I don't watch AEW religiously, and I don't watch any of the other aforementioned wrestling outfits we talked about.
Let me help you out. Let me give you some names of people he's ahead of. He's ahead of Hangman Adam Page. He's ahead of you. You don't know
probably because he does the slingshot thing better than him. That's probably why. I know who Josh Alexander is. He's the dude that wears the wrestling headset.
The full amateur guard.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And to me, that's crazy. I've seen Josh Alexander live. That dude can go.
The animal.
Fucking animal. He's ahead of Rey Mysterio, which at this point, okay.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio is just out there playing the hits.
Yeah.
He's ahead of Carmelo Hayes.
That was the one. That was the gripe that people had. Carmelo Hayes.
He's ahead of Joe Hendry.
What number is Joe Hendry?
Joe Hendry is 51.
Okay.
Now, I will say, in ring, there is an argument.
Yeah.
There is an argument in ring, but
I have to say,
Logan Paul's had, 10 matches? Joe Hendry's wrestling everywhere that'll book him.
Truth. That man wrestles 7 days a week, 400 days a year. Shout out to Hogan. Oh, yeah.
He'll be in Minnesota this weekend on some random card.
Yep.
Anywhere that'll book him, he going. He's ahead of Braun Breaker. He's ahead of Oba.
Oh, hell no.
He's ahead of Randy.
That's crazy.
He's ahead of AJ Styles. He's ahead of Claudio.
It's a lot of names.
Kevin Owens. Finn Balor. Santos Escobar.
Maybe because it's his booking, maybe is why they think that he should be that high. Because he's been in some high profile stuff. Can't knock that out of his 10 matches.
There's a lot of other names here too, but I'm just pointing out people that I think are better both in ring and on the microphone.
Fair.
AJ Styles?
Yeah, that's crazy. KO.
Randy Orton?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Pretty wild, man. It's just somebody and they always sneak stuff like this into these lists. Always like the egregious shit. There's just people to get them to just start arguing about it. I think it's done on purpose to get people to talk more about the list. But I don't know. I digress.
So there are some women on this list. I think women that wrestle intergender matches are on this list.
Interesting.
Because Marsha Slamovich is on this list. And I know she's wrestled dudes. Just from clips I've seen, but I don't know if I've seen a whole match of hers ever. But shout out to Shinsuke Nakamura for still making it to the top. He's 109. That man ain't been to work in months.
Yeah, I'll say the last thing I remember him doing was with Cody, and that was a long time ago. That was like a year ago. This isn't even this calendar year.
I'm telling you what,
he still made the list.
I love it.
Yeah, shout out to him. I know Solo's placement was somebody being better than Solo was crazy too. I think maybe it was Logan Paul because Solo was 60 something.
Yeah, Logan Paul's above Solo as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, say what you want about how he's been presented recently. He's not bad on the mic. He's stellar in the ring. But
he doesn't. I feel like there's not enough matches there to put him up that high. Logan Paul isn't wrestling every day. I feel like that top.
He might not be back
40.
to the Rumble.
Right.
But
to that point.
Did you hear what Kevin Nash had to say about it?
No,
I don't know if it had to do with the list, but Kevin Nash said he didn't care like how much Logan is getting paid, how many followers he had. He said if Kevin Nash was in that locker room with the boys, he would make sure that he told Logan Paul to fuck off.
Man, Kevin Nash be talking so bitter. There's no way Kevin Nash would have gave. I don't think Kevin Nash would have cared that much back in the day. Kevin Nash is all about that money. Like, there's no way he would have got riled up about a list from the PWI. I think now he cares more because it's easy to say that shit. Kevin Nash is Mr. Get Off My Lawn now, so.
Yeah, I think Logan Paul was just kind of brought up because of the list, but I think Kevin has these feelings about Logan Paul because, you know, like as much as, you know, he didn't give a fuck back in the day. He was making big checks, but he's always a guy that seemed like he would protect the business for sure.
No doubt. But I feel like Logan Paul, do you think Logan Paul protects the business? And I feel like he does.
So I think Logan Paul's kind of like, he's kind of like Ronda, and like he likes the business, but then unlike Ronda, he's actually really good at it.
Yeah. I
think if Logan was like bad at this the way Ronda was bad at it, he would shit on the business and use his platform to shit on it, like once they got him out of here.
Fair.
Like,
that's fair.
Because like he seems like he's, you know, committed to like, you know, picking up the craft in the ring, but he doesn't seem committed to learning about the biz as a whole.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
the fact so like
it's only a matter of time before he spoils a storyline on this podcast or something.
And I'm glad you bring up his podcast because on their most recent episode they had Mr. Tell Me a Lie, Hulk Hogan on there, and he was joking with Logan Paul. He was like, "Are you working or shooting, brother?" And Logan was like, "What is that? What is this work? What's a shoot? Yeah, what does that mean?" And that's where I was like, that's why I bring up that question, because I felt like that was kind of like a smack in the face of the business for him to, because come on now, dog, you've been in them locker rooms, you know what a work and a shoot is. Come on now.
Yeah, like it's one of like the most overused like phrases in like all of wrestling that like, you know, all the smart marks know, and it's still a business insider term. Like it's right up there with getting over.
Correct. So that's why I was just like, I think that's he's starting to trend into that arena of disrespect, but I mean that's kind of, he's a heel too, so he's got to lean into his heel shit. So I don't know where to really put it.
This is very true, because his response to Kevin Nash was like, people are telling me that Kevin Nash was talking shit about me. I had to ask, who is Kevin Nash?
Damn.
And I was like,
damn. Yeah, that ain't gonna go over well WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I was like, he gonna catch some stiff shots for some people when he finally come back.
Yeah, he can't be disrespectful like that. That's Hall of Famer.
I know that much. I know enough to know that some people not gonna appreciate that, and he gonna catch some real stiff work.
Hey, that's he signed up for it. That's what comes with the territory.
If Mox was still in the E, he could work around with Mox. Mox will make him respect the business.
Oh, no doubt there, man.
I think KO's kind of, he's kind of like on his old man shit of just, you know, I just want peace. But KO 10 years ago might have gave him some stiff shots. Same thing with Randy. I don't know. Yeah. Randy still might kind of put him in check.
He just may. Cause he just may. Randy, I don't know if you think Cody would say something.
Cody's such a politician, though.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't gonna get involved unless he gotta get involved. He ain't gonna want.
Cody might say something as like a leader of the locker room.
Possibly, yeah.
I will say keep him away from CM Punk. Because even though CM Punk don't like Kevin Nash, he respect the business.
Facts. Yeah, that's what they at least agree on there.
And then
Everything
the moment
else
you
aside.
start disrespecting the business, CM Punk gonna take issue with it. You don't believe me? Ask Jungle Man Jack Perry. Real glass, brother.
Real glass, real hands, real chokes.
He choked that man out. And then Samoa Joe was like, let him go. He said, okay. And then he just went out there and had a banger of a match with Samoa Joe. That's still one of the craziest things to me.
Then he left with that title still.
Know how that whole sequence went. Like, seeing the match, you're like, yo, this is a crazy match. But then, like, to put up the whole thing together, you're like, and he literally just choked the man out moments beforehand?
You
crazy.
think the disrespect, because you know Punk still got that title with the X on it. What if he brought that out on WWE TV? I don't know why he would, but how would that go over? It couldn't go well.
That would. I don't think he would ever bring it out unless like AEW like disrespected him and the WWE at the same time.
Yeah.
Like blatantly.
Yeah.
And I honestly think he would he'd probably like, if it were me, I'd have him like hit him hit Drew with it.
Oh yeah.
And just leave it with him like, it's the only title you'll ever get close to as long as I'm here. I would do some shit like that.
That would be great. That would be great.
That's some shit I would do, but I don't know. But anyways, we've digressed a lot off of this list. Again, internet, I'm very proud of you for not arguing about this list the way we have in the past. And I say we because I've been there too. I've been there too.
Oh yeah.
I've been Twitter fingers with some people like, nah, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
It's very easy to get wrapped up in it.
It is.
Yep.
But there's two guys on this list who I feel would be both in the top 20 in the next year if they continue on the trend they're going on. And of course, I'm talking about him, Carmelo Hayes, and the man with the black mask himself, Andrade.
Black mask and smile.
If Andrade does what he keeps doing and just stops talking, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
He used to not talk, and he was amazing when he had Zelina Vega talking for him.
Yeah.
So does he need a manager? Is that what we saying here? Does he need that?
Honestly, so there was a segment on SmackDown. LA Knight comes out here, cuts another promo, a phenomenal promo. LA Knight's in such a good place with this US title where he doesn't have to actually wrestle a lot because he is all of 40. But he can, like, when he has matches, he can have good ones and he can sell you on anything by just talking. And then Melo interrupts him and says, hey, I'm number one contender for that. I beat Andrade two times in a row. And Andrade comes out and is like, but I beat you 2 times in a row as well. And you can see Andrade kind of stumbling over his words a little bit. And then LA Knight kind of interrupts both of them. And then Andrade goes at LA Knight in full Spanish. And then LA Knight was like, I have no clue what you just said, but you want to check your tone. And he said, use your inside voice before I put you outside. I was like, man, LA Knight is such a nigga.
Oh yeah. Big time. Big wigger energy, no doubt.
Like the more they let him talk, the more I'm like, I know niggas like this. Like, I've known niggas like this my entire life. But I think that might be the key for Andrade is like, just let him go off on people in Spanish.
I'm not mad at that.
And then you can sneak in some more cuss words because, you know, ain't nobody checking.
Yep, and he won't be looked at as this smiley baby face anymore, like, or tweener, because he's not a face. He wears a goddamn Hellraiser mask out to the ring. So, yeah, man, get us away from that. The smile.
But then, like, so they had this moment in the ring, and they're tied 2-2 in their series. And I think at some point, who was it? Melo pushed Andrade into LA Knight, and then LA Knight ends up hitting both of them with the BFT, which, again, blunt force trauma. I love it. I gotta say, I was very glad when they finally said what BFT stood for, because they just kept calling it BFT and NXT, and I was like, the fuck does that mean? And then somebody finally said it, and I was like, oh, okay. But now it's looking like they're gonna have a game 5. Probably, hopefully this week on the season premiere of SmackDown.
Probably.
And it sounded like the game 5 will be the number 1 contender for the US title. DA, I gotta ask you this question. Do you want to see Melo versus LA Knight for the United States Dipset title? Or do you want to see LA Knight beat up another Mexican and beat Andrade to retain his US title?
I mean, just because I don't want to see Melo have to take an L to LA Knight or have to see LA Knight take an L to Melo, I'm gonna have to say Andrade, just because it makes more sense as it'll help build up Andrade a little bit. He doesn't really lose from having to get beaten by LA Knight, and LA Knight helps solidify his title run because Andrade is a formidable foe. So it gives him something.
Andrade is currently a champion.
Is he still the speed champ?
He's still the speed champion, yes.
That is hilarious. Yeah, so we got champion versus champion energy big time there. I didn't even realize that. So there's all the reasons then why Andrade should be the guy that wins against Melo, but then that puts Melo in a weird spot. It's a lot to break down there. I'm not really sure on how I feel about Melo losing to Andrade. Damn.
But
it's fucked up.
Melo, I mean, his character is like delusional shit talker, so he can just continue just to kind of pop his shit and then pop his shit to a new rivalry at some point. Yeah, like I don't ever want to see Melo lose. I don't ever want to see Melo lose when there isn't a title involved, or a champion, I should say.
That's fair.
So I would want to see him win this and, take the L to LA Knight. Honestly, I want a triple threat. I want a triple threat at Bad Blood. I think that would be a lot of fun for everybody.
Triple threat would be dope. I'm here for that too. And it seems like, this is gonna be a 7-match pay-per-view or PLE.
There's only been 3 matches announced so far. They got time. So I don't know. I think it still might be 5. I can see them going to 6 because they got a lot of heavy lifting to do before they get to War Games.
Yeah.
In November. But then also, I don't know, because you might be right. This might end up being a 6 or 7 match card because they still have to add a world title match of Gunther and Sammy if that's going to happen.
Yep.
The U.S. title, probably the Intercontinental as well.
Yeah, we get a Jey Uso, Braun Breaker.
Yeah, so
we'll get to it.
Yeah, you got a lot of things to do, and again, you gotta start this heavy lifting to get the Survivor Series. And as a matter of fact, we're always going back to 2 hours for the rest of the year.
So not as much time to cook.
Exactly. Exactly. But before we get to our next topic on SmackDown, I do want to ask you that question. How do you feel about Raw going back to 2 hours?
I'm honestly not mad at it. And the reason why is there won't be as much fat on the bone. It'll be more meat, so to speak. Pause. Because they only got so much time, so it's not gonna be as much filler BS. But I feel like you kind of needed that filler BS to get you through some of the storylines, because that worries me about some cuts possibly coming too. Because if they don't have as much time, some of this stuff's gonna disappear. Like I could even if Odyssey Jones ain't get erased from the WWE universe like he did, that's a storyline I see getting cut in a 2-hour setting of Raw, or Sheamus type stuff, like that type of lower to mid card deals. yeah, it's no place for it.
It feels like it cuts off like your entire like lower card.
Unless they're gonna give the lower card a show outside of main event. They bringing main event back, so I can't even. That's Saturday night's main event, so I don't even know what they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but I've also heard that Raw, when it goes to Netflix, will be for the most part commercial free.
I think it has to be, because
they're still gonna have like a couple of sponsors, but it's gonna be like, you know, P&Ps, and you're not gonna have like full commercial breaks anymore, and it's gonna be just straight 2 hours of adrenaline and action.
That gives more time to the show.
Yeah, 2 hours to the show, like without commercials. I mean, with commercial breaks 2 minutes, and were there 2 per hour?
Right.
2, 4, 6. No, there's more than 2 per hour. No, yeah, 4, 6, 8. Like you got like 12 minutes of commercials right there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting.
I wonder if it'll change up how they book and stuff. So yeah, it'll be definitely interesting.
I'm just excited to be able to go to bed at 10 p.m. on a Monday. I'm
not mad at that either. Yeah, that last hour be a struggle sometimes.
Oh my God. And I tell you what, part of the reason I'm not mad at it because they were getting too good at it. They were getting too good at these 3-hour shows. I was like, fuck. I gotta stay up for this 3rd hour. Like,
right.
Back when Vince was in charge and when we started this pod a few years ago, when that 3rd hour was just like, all right, I'm going to sleep.
It's like on SNL after Weekend Update is over. If you watch SNL, like nobody's. Like, these are the skits that they just barely let get on TV.
Yeah,
and there's like, reasons
it's
why.
Time to go to bed. but now I'm like, damn, this show's getting too good. Like I gotta stay up for the whole 3 hours. And
yeah, spreading it out appropriately.
Niggas is old, B. Niggas is old.
Yes,
but yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick. So you didn't see SmackDown, right? Yeah, you saw none of it.
No SmackDown this week. No SmackDown.
You was moving around. You was just driving around, throwing money all around Cleveland. Just throwing it out the window. You was at the Browns tailgate, putting people through tables. I get it. So Cody had another promo segment. Again, Cody's master orator at this point. Calls out the Bloodline, and he says he's ready to defend his title against, I don't know, he said a bunch of shit, and Solo assumed he was him, and Cody's like, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about Jacob Fatu.
Damn.
And Jacob Fatu gets in the ring, and you like, oh, I kind of want to see this.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
Of course, in full Jacob Fatu fashion, with his gold grill in, he just said, I love you, Solo.
Psycho. Love it.
Has he said anything else other than I love you, Solo?
Nah. Everything else, every other bar we got from Jacob Fatu is from his independent days. Stuff you've seen on the internet. Everything else is just, I love you, Solo.
Pop up.
Right. None of that. It's all about, I love you.
I love you, Solo.
Man.
This new Bloodline is so funny to me. Tama Tonga just acting like a complete and utter psychopath.
And Tonga Loa just looking like he needs to be all level up. Like, yeah. This is all ridiculous. But I love it, though.
Sometimes I watch Tonga Loa and I'm like, is this a 15-year veteran?
I'm shocked. I'd be like, there's no way. But everybody's like, yeah, this is one of those things that they just try to protect them at all costs. That's all I can say.
Loyalty. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. And then you got this psychopath bulldozer, Jacob Fatu, who, I tell you what, BA, I believe everything that's on his rap sheet. Whatever the cops say he did, he did that shit.
Oh yeah, big black Air Force energy. Like, yeah, I don't. He ain't gotta prove nothing to me. I believe it.
He had 2 career paths in life: professional athlete, criminal. He took both. He took both.
Takes a special individual to choose both.
Cause like
Man.
you look at Jacob Fatu, you're like, he can't work on nobody's office.
Right? No way. No way in hell.
Even if the hair was short and clean cut, nah.
No sir.
Nope. No, not a chance. Not a fucking chance.
Right.
But anyways, Cody, tries to sow the seeds of doubt in new Bloodline City, as I like to call them. And then he's like, no, you're going to face me for that title. And we're like, not again. We've seen this movie. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm of the opinion, if they're going to run this back, they probably shouldn't have made the first match between Solo and Cody a Bloodline rules match.
I'd have to agree, because it kind of takes all the luster out of it, especially at Bad Blood. Bloodline rules would go way harder. But
Here's the thing, BA. They're not doing that at Bad Blood.
oh yeah, it's next week on SmackDown, season premiere.
It's this week on SmackDown.
Yeah, or this week. Yeah.
As the fans are listening to this amazing pod, the steel cage will be lowered. And Cody Rhodes and Solo will be in a steel cage.
Damn. Wonder if Roman's gonna have anything to say about this.
I think Roman might pop up.
I think Roman gonna pop up too, so we
Like
can get a match at. No, there's no way we get Roman versus Solo at Bad Blood.
The name is fitting.
The name is fitting, but I feel like a match like that. I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's not a big marquee match, as far as like it has to be on like a big PLE, because you're gonna get Survivor Series. We already know what that's gonna look like. The next big PLE after that is the Royal Rumble. That's the only other place I see that happening, is the Royal Rumble. But then why would that happen? Because Roman's supposed to be fighting Final Boss at some point in time. So I guess that makes sense, though. I never would have thought that Roman would fight Solo at this type, like at a Bad Blood PLE. Not no shitting on Bad Blood, but it's not a big four. So
if it wasn't called Bad Blood, if this pay-per-view was named anything else, if it was still Vince's idea of Great Balls of Fire, or if it was Fastlane, or Extreme Rules,
or something,
anything else, it wouldn't be it. But because this pay-per-view is called Bad Blood, I think you end up getting Roman Solo at Bad Blood, and Roman
especially
gets
if Solo
involved.
about to win that title, especially.
Other point, I don't think Solo's winning Friday either, because you wouldn't spend all this time with Cody promoting Bad Blood in ATL with Metro Boomin if he was going to take that belt off of him.
Oh, facts. Yeah, that ain't happening.
I think we still get Jacob Fatu versus Cody at Bad Blood. What do you think? Am I tripping?
Ooh, you ain't tripping. That's a crazy match, and then he gonna have to deal with the Bloodline too. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot for Cody, but I guess it would be a way to close the chapter for Cody to get away from the Bloodline finally and get into something else, for him to just overcome all those odds against beating up the entire Bloodline to win. So yeah, either that or he hosting with Metro Boomin. So there's one of the two things that are gonna be happening. It's either
Crash out.
One of the
Crash out. Can we get Future to perform at Bad Blood? That would be great.
You might. You just might.
I need it. Maybe him and Metro get up there and they perform like that.
That would be crazy. That would be insane.
The thing that kept this portal of hate open that Cat Williams once opened. Because let's be real, I think Cat Williams opened the portal of hate, but I think Metro, Future, and Kendrick just like put like door stoppers on it when Like That came out, and you're like, oh, this is what we doing all year. And then, then Drake responded, and then Kendrick was like, yeah, that's what we doing all motherfucking year. All year. I gotta say,
that's a fair take.
These are things I think about as I'm just, putting together this pod.
Understandable. I get it. All that energy.
And B, I want you to remember that even when you're having a bad day, I want you to remember that Kendrick Lamar is dedicated to making sure that Drake has a worse day than you.
I believe it.
Just always remember that.
I'll keep that in mind. Keep that tucked in mind.
But anyways, new Bloodline City, Bad Blood. I'm predicting Cody, Jacob Fatu, Roman Solo, and then I think the Gorillas of Destiny beat down Roman again, and then he starts the process of getting the band back together. Because Bad Blood is the first weekend in October?
Yeah.
So that gives them damn near 2 months to get the band back together. Well, no. Isn't there a Saudi show before Survivor Series?
It typically is, but I could be off on that.
So we'll probably have a Saudi show at the end of the month, and then Survivor Series. But again, it gives them damn near 8 weeks to get the band back together.
Right.
That's enough time for Jey Uso to win that IC title off of Braun Breaker. I'm calling that right now. Enough time for Jimmy to come back and Jimmy get laid out a couple of times. Enough time for Sammy to get hit with the Beat Your Ass 97 from Gunther. Yep. And, that way they're all not doing shit.
Yep.
And Roman needs your help. And, when family needs help, no matter how much they used to abuse you and smack you and scream at you, you gotta go help the family.
I love the message that it all sends. Toxic family shit. Gotta love it. Preaching toxic family stuff.
Toxic family tree. You gotta love it.
Yep.
You gotta love it. And then maybe they can finally get Rikishi involved so he can stop tweeting about everything.
Right, and stop hating on the fact that Jey Uso ain't won a title yet. We know. They working on it. They trying.
He's low-key had shots at every single singles title since he broke away too. That's crazy.
Exactly. Damn near every single one.
Actually, every title, because he had the tag titles too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He might have been in the first Speed tournament. I don't know. I didn't catch every match.
That's a very good point. He possibly could have been.
Yeah. But seen that. Yeah, it gives them all a chance to kind of get away from whatever they're doing currently. And then, when they finally getting ready to put Roman down again, so. And then again, they're still dealing with the numbers game. And then Jacob Fatu does Jacob Fatu things.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my God. And then you get the standoff. And then Nick Aldis comes out in his Steve Harvey suit.
Yep.
And they're all like, I don't know, the OG Bloodlines in the ring, new Bloodline City's outside of the ring, and Nick Aldis is like, he's just standing there, it's all quiet, and then he lifts the mic up. No, actually, not Nick Aldis, fuck that. William Regal comes out.
Oh shit, I already know. And
they're like, Regal's here, and like everybody's just kind of looking, and then the only person that knows what he's gonna say is like Sammy or something. He's like, say it. War Games. And you're like, oh shit.
Fair enough.
Oh shit. And then Regal announced his retirement the very next day. They brought him back just to say War Games.
Because he ain't allowed to be on TV, technically speaking. That's what he told Tony. He wouldn't be on TV. But people renege on them handshake deals he be having over there. So who knows?
Come on.
Who knows?
I'm sure Triple H is gonna be like, come on, man, just go say War Games.
Just one time. Just one time.
We're not gonna put you back on TV. You can go back to NXT and try to figure out how to help your son, because He just seems kind of like a guy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that too.
Yes, we will.
And he just says, War Games. And you're like, oh shit, he said it. He did the thing. That's all we really want as wrestling fans, right, BA? Is for somebody to do the thing.
That's all we ask for. All we ask.
We're pretty simple people.
I would agree.
Pretty simple people.
Right.
All right. We're about an hour into this pod, and we're just now getting to Monday Night Raw.
Damn.
Whew.
That's crazy.
Goddamn PWI and All Out.
Yeah. It was just crazy to me because I didn't know that much stuff happened at All Out. I thought it was just a swerve match. That's why I was just like, all right. But hey, stuff happened.
I just sprinkled in stuff. Like, there was way more shit that happened. As you know, it was an 8-match card.
I believe it.
With 4 matches and 29 wrestlers on the fucking pre-show, BA. I
believe that.
4 matches, 29 wrestlers.
Everybody's got to earn their paycheck in AEW, man.
Just give me the night off.
Yeah. Let me hang out.
I don't want to be in a triple threat trios match. That's too many fucking moving parts. I'll stay home.
Too many people.
You ain't got to buy this ticket. I'm good. I'll go do a signing or something. Like, no.
Yeah, bro. I'm in low key agreement with you on that because that's no reason to be on. Unless I feel guilty for just stealing money or something, like I'm not doing nothing, and that's the only reason why I would choose to show up on that type of setup. But hey, I'm good. They say you only got a certain amount of bumps in you as a wrestler. Yeah,
and everybody knows when
clock.
They took their last bump. I'm not trying to waste these bumps. You know what I mean?
No. Not for 0 hour. Get the fuck out of here.
Triple threat trios match. Yeah, that happened.
I don't even want to ask who was involved. I would, but I just can't care. Of course.
A bunch of niggas.
And
they're talking about adding another show.
Which is crazy. They gotta figure out what to do with Collision every Saturday. Even though it's a better environment, as Tony said.
Let alone Rampage.
Oh, Rampage. That show's DOA. They leaving
the quickest hour in professional wrestling, as Excalibur calls it. I'm like, what are we doing? What? Why? They're at 5 hours of TV right now. Do they need a 6?
I would say no, but what do I know? So
speaking of like, and they got Ring of Honor, just on Honor Club. I really want to know the subscriber number for Honor Club because I'm interested.
I'd imagine it's in. I don't want to say this sounds like a hater, but I was gonna say I imagine it's in the hundreds. Yeah, there's no way it's in the thousands.
If it's in the hundreds, Tony Khan is coming out of pocket a lot of money.
Do you think that many people are? People are crazy, so I guess it would be in the thousands.
I mean, but yeah, you saw there was 500 people at the GCW show that we went to.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, let me stop. There's guaranteed thousands of people that are paying Tony Khan money without even remembering that they bought Honor Club. So yeah.
Like 7,900 people subscribe to Dame Dash's network, the new network or whatever the fuck he's calling it.
Oh yeah, that is crazy.
And have you seen the previews of the content that's on there?
Is it worse than Tubi?
Oh, it makes Tubi look like fucking Academy Award winning specials.
Wow. And I watched a Tubi movie this weekend just to watch a Tubi movie, by the way. We'll save that for the post-pod talk. But yes, I can only imagine what Dame Dash's network looks like. Only imagine.
Bro. I will say this though. Watching just the preview of Dame Dash's stuff that I see because I follow him, I'm like, I could start a network.
It's like niggas starting podcasts. Niggas have their own networks.
I'm like, at this point, it don't look hard. And I'm like, I got ideas for shows. And I'm like, I got an idea for a TV show right now. It looks better than anything I've seen previewed on his network. I'll tell you that. Right?
Damn.
Right now.
Shout out to Dame, but damn. Damn.
But Dame Dash aside, Monday Night Raw, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. because we are in WWE week, which came out of nowhere. They were like, hey, guess what, guys? All of our shit's on USA for a limited time only. And I was like,
Yep.
oh, I guess so. All right.
Right.
Cool. I don't have to worry about falling asleep and catching my local news on Fox anymore, or
Nope.
waking up to a rerun of The Anonymous, which, bro.
Yeah. Could only imagine.
I give AEW, well, not AEW, I give Turner shit all the time for having the Big Bang Theory be the lead-in for Collision. No, excuse me, for Dynamite. But for Monday Night Raw to be the lead-in for The Anonymous, it's fucking horrible.
It don't make no sense. I remember back in the day when we were kids, La Femme Nikita and shit like that. Like, yeah, type shit. So, yeah, I get that. But the Anonymous, yeah, they don't want anybody watching after 11. But
I will say that it's better than Crystal Knows Best. I will say that.
Oh yeah, that did used to come on during the Vince era. Yeah, I'd be like, man, what the fuck is this?
Are people still in jail?
I think so. See, they ruined that time slot.
So quick.
They ruined that time slot all day. But let me keep us on track, because I could talk about that 11 o'clock time slot for USA Network for the last 20 years. That deserves its own documentary.
But wait. Remember when you would fall asleep watching Raw, wake up for a second, La Femme Nikita was on, and you were like, ooh, she kind of hot, but then you would fall back asleep, and then you would hear, in the heat of the night, and it's like 4 a.m, and they're showing in the heat of the night. You're like, what's going on? What day is it?
Right, that show. I think was it Matlock or Archie Bunker on that show? I can't remember, but yeah,
Matlock.
That's who it was. Yeah, in the heat of the night. Yeah, that shit was
and it was bad because I think at one point, like, they would trade off. Like, TNT would have the rights to that, and USA would have the rights to it at some point.
Yep. So I was gonna say,
it didn't matter which wrestling show you fell asleep watching. At some point, you woke up at 3 a.m, and they were screaming in the heat of the night at you. And you're like, what's going on?
That's so true, man. I remember waking up and seeing that show on TV quite a bit, and never understanding why this or what is happening on this show. Never sat down and watched an episode. Who do y'all think is up at 3 a.m? Why do they want to watch in the heat of the night? I have so many questions. Infomercial should be all right now. Like, well, who the fuck is paying for this syndication right now? Like, what? Yeah. No way. Like, they pay people to syndicate their stuff. Like, why are you cutting a check? Right. That's what I'm saying. This cop show from the 70s at 3 a.m. Right. And they could have just paid that for an infomercial to be shown there, or had an infomercial pay the network to be shown. Yeah, that's where it's at. So, basic cable. Gotta love it. The stories of basic cable. But man. I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, one day when my niece Chloe's a little bit older, we gotta talk about like all the technology that me and her both lived through. Because she was around for like the first Walkman, and was in class, and they were telling her like, yeah, one day all your money is going to be on a card and no one's going to carry cash. And they were like, yeah, right. And I'm like, yeah, I remember the first time we got dial-up. And I remember the kid on the block who had the satellite TV. That was the rich nigga. Everybody else had basic cable. Right, and the satellite dish was like as big as their house. I remember seeing them old school satellite dishes. Yeah. And hilarious. And the first kid with the 64, that was the kid with money. Yep. Gotta love it. Yeah. Gotta appreciate that shit. And not having the option to skip commercials. Oh yeah. Like TiVo, I remember when that came out, I didn't get it, but I remember hearing about it. Like that option to be able to rewind your TV was like unheard of. Like, oh shit. I can still like hear that TiVo sound. Like, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I didn't have it in my home, but people I knew had it. So so when your kids are watching stuff now, like that isn't like on the apps, but it's on like TV,
do they ever like look at you like to skip the commercials when it's like on live television?
They did when they were younger. When I was when we were like went into YouTube heavy, and sometimes like it wouldn't be hooked up to my subscription stuff, and if it's not, you gotta watch them ads. And sometimes they would be looking at me like, I gotta deal with 10 seconds of an ad. Like, yeah, man, not logged in. So yeah, that's the only time they were comprehend. But now nothing has, even TV doesn't have commercials for real. The commercials are super quick, like on Disney Channel and stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're in and out because they're like they got to keep these kids' eyes on this channel, so they don't show many. Spans. Yeah, they don't show a ton of like commercials like we used to get like during Saturday morning cartoons. Like they exist, but they're like they only show like 2, and that's it. The rest of it's content.
You know, it's funny. Like now, like it's all about the content. But like when we were coming up, the whole reason Saturday morning cartoons exist was to sell toys.
Oh, 1,000%. Toys and cereal.
That's all the commercials were about, was to sell toys. Yep. Part of the reason that like they put like, you know, knowing is half the battle in the G.I. Joe cartoon is because the federal government came out and said, you can't have 30-minute commercials for toys. You just can't. And they were like, so what do you want us to do? They're like, put some fucking not infomercial, but like some public service announcement type shit at the end.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were like, and then you'll let us show a 30-minute commercial for toys? Yep.
You got it. You got
and
it.
They showed a 30-minute commercial for toys. And when it went to commercial, you saw commercials for the fucking toys.
Those public service announcement shits used to be hilarious on G.I. Joe. That's a whole nother podcast there. Oh,
too funny. Random fact, do you know why Saturday morning cartoons don't exist anymore?
No, I don't.
Because TV networks figured out that pre-game sports shows were way cheaper to produce.
Interesting.
So they were like, we can leave these infomercials on and get paid for those until about 11, and then we can just show these sports pre-game shows, which are way cheaper to produce, and lead into this content that we want everybody to watch because we're charging advertisers so much. And once they figured that out, it was a wrap for Saturday morning cartoons.
Damn, they did just die off with our like generation. Like once we stopped watching TV, they pretty much was nothing there to watch anyways.
It was a quick death.
Damn.
And I mean, and part of that was they were like, I don't know who it was at the networks. They convinced people like kids just play video games now. They don't play with the toys, so and video games don't have cartoon commercials, so fuck it.
Yep. They ain't gonna play the shits
Anyways, I know you guys are glad we gave you that history lesson on Saturday morning cartoons and commercials. But the first hour of Raw was commercial free.
There we go.
And they started. Trained professional here. I got what is it? Get your 5,000 hours in. I'm at like 4,900 right now. First hour of Monday Night Raw. They start swinging with the Wyatt 6 and American Alpha 4.0. I'm not calling them American made. That shit sounds stupid.
Yeah.
And they put the video package. You watched the video package?
Did I catch the video package? I don't think I had it on yet. I didn't catch the video package.
The video package was like expertly made. It was so great. And they finally like kind of gave the reason of why, you know, the Wyatt 6 is like attacking American made. Because like in Bo Dallas's promos, he said there's people out there abusing their families, but he never actually said it was them. So you just kind of had to infer and put the pieces together and listen to Let Me Book Your Territory, where we told you what the fuck was going on like 10 episodes ago. Yeah. But he finally like put it in that video package so all the idiots who still didn't get it can be like, oh. And then they went out there and they put it on the line. Let me tell you.
Yeah, the match was fire.
Mixed tags match, like, it was crazy. What was your favorite part of the whole match?
I'd have to say, I'm trying to think. Oh, definitely Rowan faux head slamming Gable on top of the stairs. That was pretty hilarious. Yeah, that faux head slam is pretty great that he does. And he just grabs your face and just slams you. Yeah, so yeah, that was one of my favorite high spots of the match.
I'm right there with you. I think my favorite spot of the match is probably just like when Gacy was in there solo, just with like the myriad of all of them.
Oh yeah,
so fucking good, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's doing a good job now. All that weird shit he did in NXT is paying off because it just naturally flows through this whole gimmick what he's doing. So yeah,
like man, you watch him, you're like, oh, I see why he gets like, you know, the same amount of praise they would give to a guy like Melo. You're like, oh, now I see it. Now I see it. Because like he was good at NXT, but there was something that just wasn't clicking all the way. But now they got something
going. Yeah, I can't deny it. He's doing great. Nikki Cross is doing great. Dexter Lumis looks terrifying, man, with that weave dreads and like that whole look is crazy to me. Yeah, man, they I love how they're presented.
It's just scary. Like I don't care what medium you put it in.
No matter what, just terrifying. Which I get. I completely get.
Have you heard Dexter Lumis actually talk?
No, never.
He sounds exactly like John Cena.
That's probably why they don't let him talk. They want to confuse people.
Like to a point, it's scary.
That's interesting.
Like, and I heard like a really like old interview with him, like I think from like his indie days, and I was like, he's not kayfabe right now. He's just talking, and he sounds exactly like John Anthony Felix Cena.
That's pretty wild, bro. Nah, I was not aware that's what he sounds like.
I heard him talk, and I was like, yeah, they're never gonna let him speak ever again. Ever.
Right.
Like, he's never gonna have to show off his acting skills at all. No, sir. That shit was crazy to me.
It's worked out well for him.
Yeah, hey, I get it. Where do the YS6 go from here?
I could see them either stirring up some stuff with the Final Testament or the New Day. I don't know what'll drive things to those points, but I think of them as two factions that don't got a lot going on right now. I think the whole American Made, American Alpha thing has to end though. I think we've kind of beaten that horse down. That has to end.
L after L after L. So
yeah, so it's time for them to move on. But I would be intrigued if they started stalking like the New Day or something. And that would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty fun.
Why the New Day? Because they didn't stick up for their friend Odyssey Jones?
There you go. But that would mean they have to talk about Odyssey Jones. So
acknowledge that Odyssey Jones existed.
Yeah, so with that being said, maybe Karrion Kross starts to go crazy on his Final Testament group or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. Those two factions stick out to me as somebody or as people that the YS6 can mess with and kind of start fucking around with. Or they just start doing random stuff.
Of the Final Testament. Like Cross and Bo Dallas kind of going back and forth on like pre-tape promos.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah, in the efforts to get Karrion Kross over, this would be a nice push in that direction to try to get him over. So,
and Lord knows they're not firing Bo Dallas anytime soon. So Bo Dallas might be able to survive the curse of Cross.
He should,
as I call it, because
nobody else is doing an Uncle Howdy gimmick. No way. So,
can the YS6 get Karrion Kross over?
I think if done appropriate, it's the most possible way I could see it ever happening. I know E-Ray started to warm up to Karrion Kross in the recent weeks, but I'm still not super warm on him yet. And
I'm not sold. But
yeah.
again, there's only one way he can get over in my book.
What's that?
He has to redeem himself.
Oh, true. He do. He still got to. Maybe he just goes to AEW and tells Adam Cole off, and then goes back.
Yeah, like he needs to be in Triple H office every day, begging him to re-sign Adam Cole, just so he can serve Adam Cole on the mic and then proceed to beat the dog shit out of him.
Yeah, he got to get his get back. I can't deny that either. He got to get his get back. Because that promo
still pops up on my timeline once a week, and I watch it every time, and I'm like, I've never seen someone get eviscerated like this. He just didn't recover.
Nope. Still
didn't recover to the point where he was about to go join, what was it? EC3's promotion. Remember that?
Yeah. Control
Your Narrative.
Yikes. Yeah. Who can forget? Braun Strowman, all of those guys. They want to control that narrative.
Control your narrative, brother. And no super kicks.
Oh Lord, man. Yeah, so as far as the commercial free hour overall, that happened. We got to see my guy at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. My number one and only, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
That's right.
The
Mr.
Hitman.
Brett.
Yes,
Mr.
the Hitman.
Brett the Hitman. Yes.
As you say, never has a reason to smile. Why
have you ever seen Bret Hart? I was being dead serious. Have you ever seen Bret Hart smile? I thought about it as I was watching. I was like, I wasn't even trying to be a dick. I'm like,
he's always giving like a cheesy like smirk. He's not really a smile guy. He always just like gives like a smirk, like I know I'm the shit type stuff, like to people. That's usually what I've seen from him.
Okay, all right. I mean, you're in Calgary. They're on good terms again. Vince is gone. So
every story starts like that. Vince is gone. Everything's well. All is well. All is well.
Vince is gone. All is well. I can't wait for that documentary to come out.
Oh man, I think we might have to do a VA and Wise Man show just on that. I believe.
I'm there.
Yeah, I think that deserves its own episode.
I'm parachuting in for that one for sure. But yeah, Vince is gone, so Brett's willing to show up.
Yep.
And he cuts a nice little promo, and then gets interrupted by the World Heavyweight Champion, the man who called Randy Orton a failure, the homie Gunther. And Gunther again, he continues to just be so good in this role of just being an asshole. And it's funny because a few months back, Brett was pretty critical of Gunther's in-ring style. Shoot interview critical. And Gunther kind of, he said his words about it. So, they got them in the ring, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting payoff to something. And Gunther did something that I think puts him in the top 10 of the Kendrick Lamar Hater of the Year, right?
He's up there after this little
He said,
bar.
Brett, you're my second favorite of all time to Goldberg. I was like, yo.
Love it. Love it, love it.
Saying that to Goldberg, saying that to Brett in Calgary is insane.
Oh yeah. It's up there with almost up there with some of the shit Drew been on. Almost, but it's there. It's definitely in contendership.
Yeah, Gunther definitely put himself in the top 10 with that one. And then
doubt.
Sammy comes out in the jersey of the Calgary Flames player who tragically passed away.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of read Gunther the riot act, which was great. And then Gunther was like, yeah, all that shit's cool, bro. Still not gonna accept your challenge. I'm out.
No.
And I appreciate Gunther just being like, no, I'm good on you. Like, no. You did all this to beat me for the IC title, and then you lost it 3 months later. No. You're not on my level. He said, first of all, Sammy, you're not on Brett's level. And I just told Brett he nowhere near my level. So 1 + 1 is always 2, my brother. Buckle my shoe. I'm getting the fuck out of here. No title shot for you. That's what I heard him say.
Dropped all those bars. I got you.
That's what I heard him say. He went full Dr. German Umar.
Dr. German Umar. That sounds contradictory as hell.
I heard it as I was saying it. I was like, that sounds nuts. But again, like I was like, I'm kind of here for this. So we're probably. Do you think we get this match at Bad Blood, or do they hold it off a little bit? Maybe for Survivor Series.
I mean, they gotta save a card for Survivor Series, I feel like. But you also need a word. Well, because
I don't think we're doing Gang Wars anymore at Survivor Series.
Nah, I don't think so either. Because I don't think you have a reason to put 2 world title matches on the Bad Blood card if Cody theory comes to truth. And you can give it more of a build if you let it breathe until at least whatever that PLE is in Saudi. That'll be a good main event, I feel like, for that. I think Survivor Series is a little long in the tooth to them to not have a match. Like that reminds me too much of old school booking there. Like that giving something 2 months to build. That don't happen.
I'll say, well,
like that.
You know the Saudi national government, royal government, I should say, is always a fan of Sami Zayn losing matches over there because of how he's spoken about the Saudis. So you might be on to something.
It's not
they might have asked him. It's like, are you guys cool with us putting Sammy on the card? As long as he loses.
Perfect. Got the perfect guy for him.
All right, cool. Well, we can just hold this off a little bit longer.
Yep.
So you might really be on to something there. As I think about how kind of fucked up that is, like, damn, he probably always gonna lose in Saudi. But
yeah,
shout out to him for finally taking that check, because he was steadfast for a while. I'm like, I'm never taking that check. But
him and KO said no.
Not gonna be able to do it. I was like, damn, how do we get on Sammy? I didn't even have that on the list, which not bad.
Hey, it's not okay. Bad. That's what we pivoted from the Bret Hart. Of course you forgot about the best technical wrestler of our childhood, so I get it.
Yeah, charisma.
I get it. Oh man.
But we go from one number 1 contender in Sami Zayn to that fatal 4-way. Man, what a
insane match.
Whew.
Insane.
Ilya Dragunov, Jey Uso, Braun put me in the match, Strowman, and shit, who was the 4th?
Was it Peter Dunne? Nah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Excuse me. Showing up overtime to hate on niggas.
Yeah, he
got
was.
hit with that shillelagh before the match.
Crazy.
And if you saw his eye before NXT, you was like, oh, Sheamus really hit that man.
Yeah. He gave him a nice little receipt for sure.
They went out there and they had a banger. Everybody got their stuff in. I thought at multiple points, like going into that match, I was like, Jey Uso's probably gonna win this, but you know you got a good match when they like get you to suspend your own disbelief, especially being the smart marks that we are. I was like, are we gonna get Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker again? Because I'm here for that.
Yeah.
And then the extra thing they did of having Braun going backstage, just talking shit to everybody, you were like, ooh, Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman, the tale of two Brauns. Here for that. And then Pete Dunne, Braun Breaker, we've seen that at NXT before.
Yep.
BA, what? I know you said amazing match, but what was the spot for you in this match? I want to see if your answer is the same as mine.
It was how it ended. Like, because Jey Uso, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I was in and out of the kitchen to the living room when it was all going down. wasn't it where like Jay just fell on top of somebody and that's how he won? Like he didn't do a move or anything. Like somebody else got something else done to them. Is that how it went down?
Trying to think. How'd that finish? No, because Jay Uso definitely I think he did an Uso splash.
Oh, okay.
Spear.
But somebody hit a bigger move before that.
Yeah. I believe it was. I can't remember. I think Pete hit the bitter end.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened. But
yeah,
the spot of the entire match was Bronson Reed putting Braun Strowman through that announce table.
Yeah.
Braun getting the announce table ready to put somebody through it, turns around, and you just see 350 pounds just flying through the air. Shout out to Bronson Reed, man.
He doing his thing, man. He's I would say you would definitely see him and Braun Strowman fight at Bad Blood, but it ain't gonna be that many matches on that card. So they need to have a blow-off match though. That'll probably be happening next week though, I'd imagine on Raw. If Braun can go.
How is damn near putting a nigga through a car not your blow-off match?
This is Braun, because we dealing with Braun and Bronson. That's why them dudes.
Kaijus.
Yeah, that's just Tuesday evening for those dudes. That ain't nothing.
Just another Monday night, brother.
Just Monday.
As I crack open my masthead pumpkin ale. That's right, guys. I'm a basic bitch. Pumpkin spice beer comes out.
It's pumpkin
It's
season.
in my house.
Respect.
I love it. But yeah, I thought this was a great way for them to get Bronson back into the fold, as he unfortunately had to take a week or two off with illness.
Yep.
I was like, damn, that's the most unlucky thing in the world. That's Chelsea Green levels of unlucky to be on this roll and then legitimately get sick enough to where you can't work.
Yeah, that's a great
But for them to just bring him back like that, put Braun Strowman through that table, chef's kiss. Chef's mother kiss.
Yeah, I can't deny that. That was a great spot too. But yeah, the way, like I said, the chaos of how that match ended was what I remembered, but not specifically. But yeah, Bronson coming back, you can't go wrong with that. Cannot at all.
So do you think Jey Uso takes his belt off of Braun Breaker?
Low key, I think they started a little hot potato. I think we got to get Jey Uso to wear it for a little bit and then get it off of him when Roman comes a calling.
Yeah,
and
I do think it's time.
I don't see, but I see Braun. I can see Braun getting it back, Braun Breaker, but I don't see him holding it for a super long time in both of these instances. I just don't. I don't know why. Yeah.
I'm gonna say something crazy.
Uh-oh.
I don't see him getting it back. I see him winning the Rumble.
Yikes. That's controversial, but they've been saying that they was gonna strap the Rocket to that dude, and a quick IC title run screams Rocket. The next thing up is the world title. So you think Braun Breaker and Gunther?
Yeah.
Then they put on just a suplex slamming and chest slapping banger, so I can really think of what it would be.
A lot of chest slaps, a lot of Braun trying to get his power shit in.
Yep.
And then to me, the story of the match is Braun trying to figure out how to win a match against a guy who's so much more technically gifted than him. But again, all he needs is that one spear and he put somebody down.
Yep.
Because honestly, at this point, between the stuff with Seth, Drew, and Punk, that don't need a title attached to it.
Nah.
And I know Punk's goal is to main event WrestleMania, but unless he can get a fan rebellion behind him the way Cody did, I don't see it happening. I don't.
Not this next WrestleMania. I could see it happening at the one after that. But The Rock sitting there is what makes it impossible. I feel like, because that's, you got one, even though it's 2 nights, the final boss is main eventing one of them with Roman, and that just leaves one other main event.
I don't think Rock being there is what makes it impossible. I think that's just like part of it. I think this is the most talented roster they've ever had.
Yeah, they got guys everywhere. I get that piece of it. And these are young guys that you want to make sure that you're putting on. Yeah, we love Punk, but Punk ain't here for that type of rub. But maybe at some point in time, you gotta throw him into a main event match. You have to, I feel like.
I mean, I agree, but like, I just think there's just so many guys with so much runway that you could see main eventing a WrestleMania from, you got Cody, you got Seth, you got Drew, you got Braun Breaker, you got a LA Knight, you got a Gunther, you still got Roman, and then you got, these guys on the come up like a Mello, like a Jacob, you still have Sammy there, you still have KO they have so much main event talent all throughout this roster.
It's a lot, man.
Like, Wiseman was always talking shit about, the way they booked Bronson, but when Bronson left, the first thing they had him do in New Japan was beat Okada.
Yeah.
So, like, the guys that, weren't there for, so long, they were believed in. LA Knight's like a 3-time Impact World Champion. So, like, it got so much there. And then this Performance Center, they churning them out. Like, Obafemi's ready for the main event tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not the main event of Mania, but we can get him there.
Roxanne's ready to be on the main roster if they need it.
So ready.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying.
Like,
for sure,
and I
there's
think
too many players involved. I think CM Punk just can get that spot.
Too many players and like too good of writing. Like, because AEW had the same situation. There's a lot of main event guys in AEW, but there's enough terrible writing that a guy like Punk, who like is just naturally charismatic on his own, has his own cult following, could just be like, yeah, main event, straight to the top.
Yep.
I'm right there. Right fucking there. And again, as I was talking about that Performance Center, it's time for the best part of our week. E-Ray's not here to hit the button, but it's NXT. And they cooking, BA.
That episode was non-stop. It's fun stuff to watch. Yeah, from beginning to end. From the Profits match all the way to Trick Willie. It was a great
the beginning for you was the Profits match.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You didn't see what happened in the parking lot.
Nah, my 2B version did not show me the parking lot. They just showed me it started off with the Profits.
Oh man, the homie Trick Willie pulled up in his car, as a swagged out black man does.
Yeah, I did see that.
Air.
Okay, I did see those parts.
Sure.
I did see those parts.
I was making sure. And then, he saw somebody in the parking lot, but as a man in a relationship, he looked once and looked back away. But
yeah, but we saw.
We saw Jada Parker in that goddamn bat. Listen, I know I ain't told y'all this in a long time. I would have folded.
I think we just need to get a sponsor for this segment, because you at some point in the show you say you're gonna get folded at some point. So yeah.
I would have folded. Yeah. Brought to you by Downy dryer sheets. I don't know.
There we go.
She had on that bodysuit. BA was just walking around that park.
It was yeah. Yeah. That's why I was just like, everybody's ignoring that. Okay, all right.
No, so let me tell you the story. So my mother calls me maybe 10 minutes before NXT, and my mom's been in Europe for like 10 days. First time over there in her life, and she was loving it. And I said, call me, when you get back and get settled. So she calls me to tell me about her trip, and I'm like, cool, I can talk to her and watch the NXT in the background. Had the TV on mute. I saw Jada Parker, and it was the Key and Peele sweat meme. I was just like,
hurry up, Bob.
Man, this is rough. This is rough. And let me tell you, had she not just gotten back from Europe for 10 days, and it was just a normal, just talk to mom Tuesday, I was like, yo, let me call you back in 20, 30 minutes.
That's all I need,
I need a moment. I need a moment. Boy, and because I'm on the phone with her, and I'm looking at my TV, and I'm sweating, knees weak, palms are sweaty, full 8 Mile mode. I couldn't text the group chat yo, what's going on? What's happening?
Right.
What's happening? And then, I ain't want to, blow up everybody's spot, with ladies around. Because, they get to, what y'all looking at?
Oh, yeah.
know.
I understand.
And she know what she doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, But yeah, profits.
Yes.
Yeah, they're up. They want the smoke.
All the smoke.
Again, Fraxium. Top 5 tag team going right now?
I think you got to get them props because they was hanging with a very legitimate tag team in the Profits until somebody popped up. Because the Profits was doing their thing. I was like, oh shit, they gonna put the belts on the Profits and have them run around NXT for a little while. I'm here for that.
When they hit that block, first of all, Montez jumping off the top rope to hit a blockbuster. I don't think people realize how high in the fucking air he is at that point.
It don't make sense, man. It do not make any sense how athletic that dude is.
The ring is 10 feet off the air. So when you're standing on it, if Montez is about 6'1", he's 16 feet in the air just standing. And then he does a flip. So he's coming down about 20, 30 feet and then landing on his back.
It's crazy.
I know you got a certain amount of bumps in you. I don't know how many more of those he got left in him.
He only got, I was about to say, he only got so many because you can't keep just landing on your back like that.
Yeah, they might want to start switching to the Doomsday Device or, one of their other tag team moves because they keep busting that move out. Angelo Dawkins is going to be a singles competitor way sooner than he's planning to be. Because that shit is insane.
It is. It is.
But
man.
they hit that top rope blockbuster. Montez goes for the pin, gets pulled out of the ring. I thought it was going to end up being the OC, honestly, or Gallus or something. But again, they were like, "Nah, we got to cook. We got to cook." And it's Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu goes out there and just lays out Angelo Dawkins. And then the coolest part of the whole thing is when Tama Tonga slides in the ring, Gator rolls, I want to say it was Nathan Frazier, and then picks him up for that Falcon Arrow. I was like, yo, that was one of the smoothest sequences I've ever seen. And they proceed to just take out Fraxium and the Profits, and then they just leave.
Yep.
And you're like, they really did just pop up and show niggas.
That's all they had to do. So does that? I wonder where that leaves the Profits on SmackDown, because they not gonna come back to NXT with that.
I think that establishes the Profits as the number one contenders for that belt.
Yeah, I would have to say the same.
Because it, kayfabe wise, if the Bloodline didn't feel the Profits were, the top contenders for that belt, they would just let them win NXT belts and be out of their way.
Right. But
because they can pop up on both shows, we gotta pop out and show niggas.
Yep.
So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I was about to say, it got me pumped.
Guerrillas of Destiny versus Street Profits is something, you would just talk about in video games and shit, and it's here.
Yep.
We're gonna get it.
It's pretty wild.
We are going to get it. Again, shout out to Fraxium. I don't know when they're getting called up, but when they do, it's gonna be a lot of fucking fun in that tag division.
Oh yeah, you think they keep him as a tag team? You ain't gonna let them run solo dolo?
I would keep him as a tag team.
They need more tag teams. I get what you're saying. But
What scares me is that, like, if they keep him as a tag team and they put him on Raw, where they really don't care about those tag titles at all.
True that, and ain't getting cut down to 2 hours on top of that. So,
right,
yeah, that's a good point.
Because another rumor going is that for at least the next few weeks, SmackDown about to be 3 hours.
That's crazy. That's
Which
because
again,
they
it's
can.
on a Friday. Don't care.
Ain't nothing
Totally
coming
fine
on
with
USA on Friday, so yeah, it makes sense.
I'm not outside the way I used to be, so I'm totally fine with that. But anyways, again, NXT's continuing to cook. Tony D is out here looking for somebody to handle Obafemi. Feels kind of racist, I'm not gonna lie.
Told you.
You might get your wish. Tony might get frustrated and call him a movie sometime really soon. I can see it happening.
Oh man, I could so see it.
They might have to do it. They might have to do that before they get to the CW, because call somebody a moolie on network television hours is crazy work.
Oh yeah, it's big crazy.
BA, let me ask you this question: how much money would Tony D'Angelo have to pay you to get in the ring against Obafemi?
Oh, man, it's gonna have to be at least 6 numbers on that in that figure, because there ain't
Before
no
the
way.
decimal.
Yeah, ain't no way I'm walking into the ring to just sign up to get my ass whooped by Obafemi just to say, hey, let's do it. Even though I'm nowhere near the stature of the man that they did hire to do so. Yeah, 6 figures, no doubt. And I'm not talking about decimal points, to your point.
No decimal points. I'll tell you what, man, you a better man than me.
Oh, I'd take an ass whooping for 6 figures. You can whoop my ass for 100,000 or more, no doubt. Shit, you can whoop my ass for 90,000.
See, there's an ass whooping, and then like there's an ass whooping where you stand a puncher's chance, and then there's the type of ass whooping that Obafemi would put on you, where he's just throwing you, and you're like, he's literally ragdolling you. And there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, that's a whole different, it's like being a dog's chew toy, basically. It's probably like getting in the ring with Obafemi.
Yeah, I mean, 6 figures is cool, unless you, but to quote the great John Wick, not if you can't spend it.
Or you spend it to heal up.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah, it's 9 figures for me.
I respect that. Especially after thinking about the care I'm gonna need.
A lot of it's going to the hospital bill.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, we'll need that money for the care that I'm gonna need.
And therapy afterwards, because you're gonna have nightmares for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, just seeing that huge motherfucker walk to the ring and then listen to a couple hundred people cheer you getting your ass beat.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna need some therapy.
Big time.
Hearing Booker go, "Oh yeah, man," as you
millions of times,
as you just getting the shit beat out of you,
right?
Nah. And then it's on TV. Yeah, 9
yeah.
figures at least. But
that's a good point.
Tony D did not need to pay 9 figures to one Hammerstone. Paid him a grip. That was a big bag, a lot of money. Those of y'all who don't know, Hammerstone, a heel from TNA Impact. Hell of a wrestler. When you think about it, when you think about a style, you think about like an early Scott Steiner, a guy who could just throw around pretty much anybody, but could also like move like a cruiserweight if he really wanted to.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, 10-year vet, has been a champion everywhere he's been. Every single place he's been. He's been upper mid of TNA for quite a while now. And yeah, he gave Oba his biggest challenge. Because everybody else Oba's wrestled outside of like Ivar has been fellow PC people.
Yeah.
Hammerstone is a guy, again, 10 years in this, so Hammerstone's leading the match. And then Hammerstone's, helping Oba through that story. But part of that story is, hey, you big, but there's other big motherfuckers out here that can knock you down a little bit. And I appreciated it. But again, the ruler rules again.
Yep. Making Tony D waste his money. Pissing him off.
No refunds.
No, sir. No, sir.
But I will say, if next week Tony D tries to get a refund and then send Stacks out there to get his refund from Hammerstone, that would be very entertaining to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Hammerstone beat the shit out of Stacks.
Sign me up for that.
That would be very funny.
Or maybe when you're watching TNA, he'll pop up there trying to pay him or whatever, and then he can get his ass whipped on TNA.
Yeah, I like that even better. Hammerstone just get his money and go back to TNA. And Stacks show up like, hey, you need to get a Don back his money. Hammerstone like, who the fuck you talking to? You forget where you at, cuz?
Right. You forget why he had to pay me in the first place, motherfucker? You see me?
Because you can't do your job.
There we go.
To quote the great John Cena. But again, seeing Oba pull off his moveset on Hammerstone is again equally as terrifying. That release back body drop thing he does, and you're like, nah, that's a big motherfucker to be throwing like that.
Right.
And then, the pop-up powerbomb he calls the fall from grace, which is an excellent name for a finisher.
Yeah, that's dope.
Excellent.
Pop-up
powerbomb somebody that big is insane.
Facts.
Yeah, who takes that belt off of this man?
At this point, I mean, it can't be Tony D. It can't be. If that Hammerstone dude can't do nothing with him, how does Tony D do anything with Obafemi? Like that, and they make it believable. So with that being something, man.
They gotta jump him. They gotta shoot him or something.
They gotta do something. Damn, dog. I don't see anybody on that roster that can make me believe that they take that title off of him. I don't think that person exists yet.
He not signed yet?
Nah, I'm not even joking, because I can't see anybody that I've seen on NXT make sense on how to beat Obafemi for that title without cheating.
Does Obafemi become a champ at some point?
I think that's feasible. They did it with Keith Lee. I don't see why you can't do it with him.
This is very true.
I don't think it's anything they need to rush and do, because how dope that NXT title picture is. They don't need him, but it makes sense when it happens, it'll make sense.
But then again, I think at this point, like, it's inevitable that happens. But again, I think you still write yourself into the same corner of, well, then who beats this motherfucker?
That's the kicker, man. I don't know who they make it believable to beat that dude. I don't know how that's possible. I honestly don't. Without somebody coming down from the main roster to maybe show them what's up, that's held that title before, I don't see it for anybody that's on that roster.
Yeah, because like the only person that's like ever just like held the title until they relinquished it, I believe, was Asuka. She just held that title until she couldn't hold it no more and just gave it up.
I could do that with him too.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in this NXT roster beating Obafemi.
Hell no. None. Zero.
Like, at this point, even getting that North American title off him seems kind of difficult unless you jump him. You gotta jump him. You gotta jump him with like 8 people.
Right.
Unless you really do something crazy, like Randy gonna be down there for the second week of their CW run.
That's the only type of deal. Again, it's somebody from the main roster coming down. That's the only way it makes sense.
And Obafemi makes Randy look small, but again, Randy Orton is arguably a top 10 greatest of all time. So
right,
nothing's gonna intimidate Randall Keith Orton, and
none.
It only takes one RKO. It only takes one.
True. That's all it would take.
Let's be honest. Randy Orton in NXT for a month or two would do wonders.
That'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Would do wonders just for him to be around those kids for a little bit. That would be awesome. I'm sure the CW would love it too.
I could see that though. I could definitely see Randy spending some time down there.
And then you
Makes
give Oba, a few weeks off, if not a month or two, and then he comes back and is like, I was the most dominant North American champion of all time. I have my sights set on another title now.
There we go.
And then he just proceeds to beat the shit out of Trick Williams. Just whenever they get around to that, he just dog walks Trick and takes the NXT title off of him.
Yep.
But anyways, was going to be the topic of this next topic because they showed that little segment for Rosemary and Wendy Chu,
the Demon Twins or
whatever they're calling them.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask E-Ray if he was sold on it yet because I tried to explain to him, Rosemary twice, and he was just like, yeah, I don't care. So let me ask you, BA, how do you feel about the Nightmare Twins? Are they selling you yet?
Oh, that's what it is, the Nightmare Twins. No, not for real, man. That's just because of a couple promos. That's what I'm supposed to believe in that now? Like, that's all I've gotten from this is just a couple promos. Yeah, I'm kind of in E-Ray's boat because I don't know much about Rosemary either. Yeah, don't really care too much yet until we see it in the ring, basically. Maybe I can form a better opinion at that point. But, yeah.
Just wanted to see. So, if you had to pick of newly formed, NXT women's tag team groups, you got the Nightmare Twins of Rosemary and Wendy Chu. You got Fatal Influence with Jasmine Nix, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane.
Yeah.
And then you have the possible new women's tag team of Jada Parker and Lola Vice. Who you going?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have to go with the latter because that sounds crazy. That sounds insane. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to say anything else. It just sounds crazy. And I don't know if our televisions can handle that. But I'm willing to find out and test that water for sure. So I'll just leave it at that. And you already know.
That tag team form is going to be a lot of guys watching NXT by themselves in their office or man cave with the door locked. Don't worry about it, brother.
Right. Or when significant others asleep. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
NXT will no longer be safe for wives.
No, it's not. If it wasn't before, it definitely ain't when that tag team gets put together. What do they call that tag team? It's too much. Too much.
What's the theme song gonna be? Can I get to the yams?
Yeah,
sweet
for real.
Yams. No. Show me the way.
Oh man, that's your tag team right there. I'm gonna care about.
I'm for it. I'm here for it. I'm all in, if you will.
Yeah, definitely not all out.
I'm all in, but I'm going all out. If you feel what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, brother.
I'm with you there, all brother.
Right. But let's wrap this up with a last man standing match. But yeah, let you in on a secret. Not a big fan of last man standing matches.
They did well with this one though.
They did
a good job.
Because for me, I've always felt like last man standing matches, for them to reach their conclusion, had to get to a level of violence that I was like,
it's unbelievable at that point.
Yeah. Or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But this one, Trick Williams and Peter, I'm clocking in overtime to hate on motherfuckers done. They went to war. They was out there beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And I think this was great for Trick. I really do.
I would have to agree.
This whole rivalry was I think they put Trick in like really great situations to grow him as a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff with Ilya, the stuff with Melo, and now the stuff with Pete Dunne, like Trick's there. He gets it. Like he just needs like more reps and like add more like to his offensive repertoire, but everything else, I think he's got it in spades now. And I think it's because of like, how they put him in these situations.
Yeah, I think he's understand. I think what the biggest change I've seen in him in the recent weeks is his ring psychology. Like he just understands more about what he's supposed to be doing in the ring. It's not just supposed to be this hype machine and 24/7 type of deal. And this match showed like he slowed down a lot in this match, and it wasn't detrimental to the pacing or anything. So I was impressed with him as well. I think Peter Dunne being in the ring with him is what's helping him. Pete being such a pro is what's teaching him so much. So yeah, man, it's done wonders for him. And shout out to Peter Dunne for being on 2 shows raising havoc. It's insane
Clocking in
what he's
overtime
doing.
just to be a hater.
The main event on both shows, Monday and Tuesday night. Crazy.
They see it. They see what Triple H saw in that first NXT UK tournament. Not saying I watched it because I didn't watch NXT UK, but
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, there was a reason they had him traveling all over Europe with that NXT UK title, just beating niggas up.
Yeah.
Side note, Pete Dunne's only 30.
Yeah, he started wrestling. He's one of those Euro kids. Started wrestling in like age 15. He was a professional wrestler, so it just goes with the territory. That's why he's such a vet, but he's not a veteran's age. If that makes any sense.
Pete Dunne, like wrestlers like Pete Dunne and those guys, they have the resumes that recruiters want you to have in the corporate world. Hey, I need somebody young, but I need you to have 15 years experience too. Sir.
He's a corporate America's dream for sure. I can
corporate America be watching wrestling like, see, look at that. 25-year vet. He's only 30.
Right. See, he came out the womb working. Shooting, brother.
Delivering suplexes at soccer practice. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about? Why can't the rest of you people be like that?
Right.
Like, well,
what's wrong with
at
y'all?
5, I was watching Power Rangers.
Right.
So, don't know. But anyways, the finish to this match, I thought, was perfectly executed.
Yeah.
Ethan Page coming out, trying to get Pete Dunne to stand up. And then, it was going to end up being a double count out. But Trick Williams standing up to put Ethan Page through the table at the last second. I was like, oh, what a perfectly timed and perfectly executed sequence. And Pete stayed down, and Trick finally figured it out.
Yep.
He was on that Nickelodeon game show, and he figured it out. Bravo, Trick Williams. You think he takes the NXT title back? That's the real question.
I think that they building it up for him to take it back. I think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I think they building it up for him to win it, and then maybe you get your Obafemi appearance. Then, as far as like him starting to mess around with the NXT heavyweight title, because what to the point of our conversation earlier, what else is there to him to accomplish in that NA space?
What's there left for Obafemi to do?
There's nothing left, man. He sent people into retirement or about to be sent into retirement in West Lee. There's nobody left that I can think of. So with that all being said, that would be like the perfect thing to where once Trick wins, Obafemi just walks out and stares him down at the end of the premiere on the CW. That would be dope, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Because I don't know if they want to open that can of worms yet with having Obafemi be in that space. I don't know.
I would do it. I would do it, but like, I would do it as like just a prelude of things to come. Like, we wouldn't get there before I stand and deliver, but
yeah,
it's to let you know, like, Oba wants that other belt. But again, you know, you can put Trick in some beefs. You know, you can have people still trying to say, yeah, I can take out Oba, and then him putting them down. And then at some point, Oba's like, I'm not taking any more challenges for this belt. I've beaten everybody. I want that other belt because I'm the ruler. And Trick's like, hold on, partner. I bled for this belt. I whooped my best friend's ass for this belt. You're not taking this belt off me. You don't rule nothing over this way. And then Oba laughs. You're such a pathetic man.
Yep.
You have to be loud at all times. But when you are the ruler, your strength speaks volumes.
That sounds like some shit Oba would say.
You know, right?
Yeah,
right?
I hear it.
And then stand and deliver, title for title. Because Trick's like, you know what? And I kind of want that belt back too. And then Oba's like, you can take it from my dead hands. Or you can die trying.
Shout out to 50.
Exactly. Boom, there it is. A lot of quotables on this episode.
There you go.
And then Oba, you know, takes out Trick, and then Trick gets called up. Better question for you before we get out of here. After Trick takes this belt off of Ethan Page, should they just call up Ethan Page?
I think you can.
Yeah, like, let's be, because like, what was he there for outside of just, you know, putting another steady hand on this roster for a little bit and, you know, getting people back acclimated to seeing him on TV?
Right. That was honestly the point. That's why he was hot shotted to the NXT title, because he already came in with the clout. Yeah, he can go to the main roster at that point. He served his purpose. I don't think he needs to be down in NXT anymore, I would say. He'd be just fine on Raw or something like that. I don't know about SmackDown. I can see him on Raw.
Yeah, SmackDown got some hitters.
Yeah. I don't need any more individual hitters.
I'm a big SmackDown. Ethan Page guy, but SmackDown got some guys, and like, they go to work over there.
Oh yeah, he could be better utilized on Raw. More to do.
You know, you go to SmackDown, you talking about Cody, you talking about Roman, you talking about Solo, you talking about Styles and Randy.
Yep.
You gotta be willing to work some shit over there.
Oh, 1,000%.
But again, I feel like it's always been that way. Like, it's always presented like, yeah, SmackDown's a wrestling show, Raw's a show about wrestling. And like,
yeah,
you see it, like, as good as Gunther is in the ring, like, what's selling us on Gunther right now is him being like so demeaning to his challengers.
Yep.
Like, as good as Cody is on the microphone, Cody's gonna say the same shit all the time. He's like, I'm step up, and, you know, we're gonna have a really good match. And hey, just let you know, when you get in this ring with me, I'm going for match of the night, so you just better be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And Randy's Randy, and, you know, AJ's AJ, Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. But yeah, Ego definitely could fit in on Raw over there. That would be a lot of fun.
Book it.
But yeah, anything else you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
Man, we got nothing. We are booked out. We have booked all the territories. We have discussed all the graps, even graps that I forgot about that happened in terms of the All Out pay-per-view this past weekend, because BA was tired. So yeah, it is not much left to say as far as booking this territory. I say, Dub, what say you?
I mean, we could talk about, you know, the the GCW shows coming up, or the MLW World Title match? No.
I'll leave that for the internet. I'll leave that for
I'm
the
kidding.
IWC.
I have no clue of anything. Actually, low key, I think GCW is in Detroit this weekend.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Like on Saturday. And I'll be in Detroit on Saturday now that I'm thinking about it.
You could go catch a GCW show. There you go.
That might happen.
It's not a bad idea.
About it.
Not a bad idea.
But yeah, guys, you know where it is. LetMeBookPod.com for everything, all the other old episodes. Take a look at the artwork. We have the best artwork in wrestling podcasts. We have the best fucking merch in wrestling pods too. Your Only Slam shirt, get the logo, get our faces on your chest. Whoa, that sounded crazy. BA and Wise Man show, watch-alongs with some of the greatest of the old shit. I'm on a couple episodes of that, but they're all hilarious because wrestling was a wild place back in the day.
Yes, it was. We'll be back with some new ones for sure.
Y'all gotta do some more Ruthless Aggression stuff. Because that was the era none of us are watching, and Wise Man can lead it. Yeah, I think it would just be hilarious.
That's the game plan. When we kind of come back from the little hiatus we've been on, we've been recording slowly. So yeah, we'll have some stuff from his era of wrestling, because to Dub's point, we were not outside at all. We were outside. Wise Man wasn't. That's what I meant in the sense
we was running these streets
outside on these graps. But yeah, we was outside in a whole nother sense of the word outside. So yeah, man, more Ruthless Aggression stuff coming from the BA and Wise Man show. No doubt.
Of course, that infamous episode on the Vince documentary coming very.
Yeah, we might lead off with that one. That's gonna be a crazy. How many? Six-part documentary?
4 or 6, yeah.
Something like that.
Episodes 5 and 6 are going to be nuts. I know that much. The downfall is going to be full of some nasty word.
Oh man, yeah, definitely.
The rise is going to be interesting, just to learn some of the backstory about the rise, and then the lead up to the first WrestleMania where he bet the house on it, and then you get episode 3 is probably about the steroid trial.
Yeah.
4 and 5 is him, conquering WCW, and this should be 4 is about conquering WCW and getting to being a publicly traded company.
Yep.
5 and 6 is the downfall.
Yeah, 5 and 6 is when Mr. McMahon meets Mr. McMahon type thing. The man meets the character. They become
Where does Mr.
blended.
McMahon end? Mr. McMahon begin, brother. It's such good shit. Not for me. To settle some of these lawsuits. God damn it.
Sign here.
What's your check?
Oh shit.
This is Brock Lesnar's phone number. Give him a call.
Or else.
He likes what he saw.
Allegedly.
All right, y'all. With that being said, before we get into any more trouble,
please,
we are out of here.
Peace.